to health insurance, but you've wondered, can I really save a significant amount of money on my monthly health care bills? And the answer is an emphatic yes, you can. You could save a lot of money, whether it's just for you or for an entire family. MediShare has an option for you. In fact, the typical family saves $500 a month switching to MediShare. And it really is the gold standard when it comes to healthcare sharing. You get free telehealth services. You get a huge network of doctors. You get great customer support. And you get the sense of security that comes from being a part of 400,000 people who share not just each other's medical bills, but purpose too. MediShare is a community of Christians who pull together and pray for each other, which is very refreshing right now. If you want more info, it's so simple. You can get a price within 2 minutes. Call 833-34-BIBLE. That's 833-34-BIBLE. 833-34-BIBLE.
It's time for Farm and Ranch headlines on the Southeast AgNet. I'm Tyron Spearman reporting. Time for an update on the peanut market. Peanut farmers are getting ready to put seed in the ground and looking around for contracts. There are contracts, a limited number of contracts available at peanut buying points for the next season. Right now, most of them are $475 per ton on runner-type peanuts, with some premiums offered for $25 per ton, bump you up to $500 for production of seed or irrigation or production of high oleic peanuts. The contracts are a little higher this year than last year, mainly because the opportunity of higher priced cotton, which has gone down now, and corn. They estimate that acreage this year will be down 2%, 1,625,000 acres. But the market's doing well. Share market price is now approaching 53 to 55 cents a pound, and peanuts are moving into the trade.
Fly season is almost here. Fortunately, there's a fly control solution ready to bite back. Corathon insecticide cattle ear tags. Corathon insecticide controls horn and face flies on beef cattle, which in one study resulted in an 11.81 pound increase in weight gain over untreated calves. Bite back at flies with Corathon insecticide cattle ear tags. See product label for complete product information, indications, and application instructions.
Welcome to the All In for Citrus podcast.
There's a new resource available that brings all of Florida's citrus research together, delivering it right to you on your computer, phone, or tablet. Introducing the All In for Citrus podcast from UF IFAS in partnership with Southeast AgNet. The monthly series spans the Sunshine State with research project updates from the UF IFAS statewide citrus team. Listen to the latest episode by searching All In for Citrus on iTunes, your favorite podcasting application, or at citrusindustry.net.
I'm Tyron Spearman for Southeast AgNet.
When it really counts, depend on the source for the latest weather updates, keeping you ahead of the storm. 96.3 FM, 1370 AM, The Source.
We'll have plenty of sunshine today. Should be a nice day with a high of 86 to 89. Then patchy clouds this evening, low tonight 61 to 65. Wednesday will be sunny to partly cloudy, high tomorrow 86 to 88. Then look for a mix of clouds and sunshine on Thursday, high on Thursday 79 to 90. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm Holly Holdren.
The Ocala Golf Club, one of Ocala's premier golf courses, from its pristine 18-hole course layout to its amazing pro shop. Jason Linhart and the staff at Ocala Golf offer everything that you need for your golf outing. That's the Ocala Golf Club. Experience country club style golf at municipal prices. You won't go wrong with the Ocala Golf Club. Call them for a tee time today, 352-401-6917. That's right, it's Tuesday. So that's In the Garden with Master Gardener Carol Ann Baldwin. She is in studio. Her back's probably in a lot better shape than mine is.
Oh, yeah.
How are you?
Good. You're feeling
3 weeks from today was my surgery.
Okay.
So
Today's
3
weeks out.
And my doctor has no idea how I'm at work. He was like, if you can do it.
That was when I had
if you can do it.
When I had my hernia surgery, I was back to work about 2.5 weeks.
And the biggest problem is tired.
Yeah, I was going to say. Luckily, you don't have to lift and bend and things like that. But still, sitting or standing in one place has gotta be
for a period of time. And my left leg, the back side of my left leg, from my buttocks all the way to my ankle, still numb.
Yeah, that's the swelling from the surgery,
and they got and they move
and
muscles
that sciatic,
around.
that sciatic is pinched. Yeah.
So
see, I pinch mine by going out in the yard and doing stuff, and it's like, then you end up going, okay, can I stretch this out? Can I stretch this out?
So I got a few questions.
Yeah.
Let's talk about this beer mug thing.
Oh. I'm really a nice person. So.
I saw that on Facebook. What we're talking about on Facebook, if you hadn't seen it, sorry, you just got to look at it.
It's one of those ones that, you have to actually be a friend of mine to get to see that one.
But I looked at that and I went, that's just beautiful.
I am a nice person. So if I'm treating you poorly, there's a reason.
That's my mantra now.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I don't like anybody, but if I really don't like it, it's because of you.
Exactly. See, now I like most people. I mean, I can tolerate most people.
Right.
So I'm kind of a people person. So if I don't tolerate you,
I'm considered a people person.
Yeah, only because of what
people.
you do. Yeah.
And it's not that I don't like people. I don't like jackasses.
There you go.
And in this day and age, I find most people.
There's a lot of them. Yeah.
So, but also, now this is coming from Joe Martone, not from me.
Okay.
Let's clear this up.
Okay.
Saturday. National Nude Gardening Day.
Yes, it's May 10th. Is that the 10th already?
Is it the 10th of May?
It's May.
Is it May 10th? I thought
it's May 10th.
So it's not this Saturday.
No, it's not this Saturday. It should be. Actually, it should be.
So this isn't something everybody knows about.
Yeah, it's National World Nude Gardening Day. Look it up. Google it.
This is a thing.
It is a thing. Here we go.
So are you working that Saturday?
I can't do it at work, so.
Well, it's National Nude Gardening Day.
I just go without my gloves.
You're in the gardening center. You're in the gardening center.
But I'm not gardening.
You're giving tips on gardening.
Right. National Nude.
I mean, I guess people do this too.
They do. It's spelling it wrong, but.
And they post on like Instagram or something, I would guess.
I don't know. I mean, there's. Let's see because I spelled words. First Saturday in May. Every year on the first Saturday in May, gardeners are encouraged to shed their clothes and tend their gardens naked, just as nature intended. The free-spirited proponents of naked gardening are usually nudist, but it is.
I had no idea this was a thing.
It is actually a thing.
I'm looking at it on a nationaldaycalendar.com. World Naked Gardening Day, first Saturday in May.
It's. I wouldn't suggest pruning roses. Or working in the roses, nor the bougainvillea.
They say there are many benefits of naked gardening.
Get you closer to the earth.
Some of these benefits include it doesn't cost anything.
Yeah, less laundry to wash.
It's fun and a freeing activity. Mm-hmm. It ties people to the natural world.
Yes.
Gardening is good for the environment, and it allows humans to be honest with who they are.
And then you don't. When you're done, there's no dirty clothes to wash. They didn't have that on there? There was on there on one of them.
Yeah. How to observe Naked Gardening Day. It says, it might surprise you to know just how many people participate this day. If you're daring enough, go ahead and plant flowers or pull weeds wearing nothing but your birthday suit. The most important thing is to keep it lighthearted and have fun. You can also find creative ways to take pictures and post them on social media.
To where it's not offensive.
And use hashtag World Naked Gardening Day or hashtag WNGD.
There you go.
It was founded in 2005 by Mark Story and Jacob Gabriel. Of course, two guys came up with a nude day.
Right.
And they're the editors for Nude and Natural magazine. So I didn't know it was a thing.
It is a thing. Yeah, that was. I forget how many years ago I started. Somebody pointed it out to me, and so usually I do remind people on the
16
Facebook
years.
page, yeah, that
16 years this year. It'll be 16 years since it started.
and I've been doing this for
Let me tell
longer
you,
than that, I think.
Let me tell you.
Yeah.
I've took stock of my neighbors that live around
And
me. Only the neighbors around me that have privacy fences, please.
Please. Yeah.
And by the way, I have a chain link. There'll be no
not a
nude
privacy-
gardening.
no,
There'll be no
no.
nude gardening in my.
I have. Nah.
You know why? I don't want people to see my scars on my back.
There you go.
It's just not ready for people to view yet.
No, it's still got some bruising and things.
That's the only.
Exactly.
Okay, that's what we're going with. That's what we're going with.
That's my story. I'm sticking to it.
Speaking of nude gardening, that leads me into. That could be an ouchie.
It
Because
could.
not only pruning roses and stuff.
Yeah.
I read an article by master gardener Maxine Hunter,
Right.
who we've had on the show here.
Yeah.
I've known Max since she was a
she's
teenager, but
the Master Gardener coordinator
at the
extension
here in Marion County. But she wrote an article for the Ocala Star-Banner, an editor's piece that said when you get out in your gardening or in your yard and you start doing the stuff you do in springtime,
Right.
remember you're sharing that area with vital members of that community.
Sure.
i.e. bugs.
Yeah. Yes. Insects, bees, caterpillars.
If you're out doing
wasps,
nude
and-
gardening, I would think the bees would something you'd want to stay out of.
Well, I mean, just don't make them angry. Don't get in their, don't get in their space. They'll stay out of your space. And
Yeah, and that's the thing. People think that bees, if you get
Come to attack you. No.
If you do it the right way, and you let bees know you're coming into gardening,
Right.
they'll move on to another flower area.
Right.
They don't want to be near you
Well,
just
that's
as you
what I
don't
said.
want to be near them.
With how many years that I've done merchandising with plants and working with plants on a daily basis with flowering plants, and you see the wasps and the bees and this and that, I have never been stung. And the people that I know that also work it. I mean, the only time we have gotten stung is where there's actually like a paper wasp nest underneath the table,
Right.
or underneath a beam where there's soil, versus in the plants themselves. And I mean, we put our arms right across the top of them and things like that. The Mexican heather, great little, I call it ground cover. It gets about 2 feet tall, but each plant gets about 24 inches across. You put that in the garden, it is crawling with bees.
Right.
It just is a natural bee attractor. I work with it all the time and say, okay, yeah, they fly off, they'll come back when you move away from them. And
Right. I mean,
Okay.
the only time I've ever been, and I'm allergic.
okay.
So, I'm not as allergic now as I used to be. Now Benadryl will take care of it.
Oh,
When I was a kid,
It was an EpiPen.
EpiPen.
Yeah.
Yeah, now Benadryl will take care of it.
Right.
Because now my throat gets swollen like it hurts.
Right, but it doesn't close. Right, you get the Benadryl.
Right, and my hands fatten up and everything.
Yeah.
But the Benadryl takes care of it. So I'm not the EpiPen allergic
Right,
anymore, which is
right.
great.
Oh, yeah.
But the only time I've ever been stung in my life, I was 11 years old. EpiPen.
Okay.
And I didn't get stung by a honeybee. I got stung by one of the big fat bumblebees.
Oh, a bumblebee bee?
A big old bumblebee.
I didn't. Yeah, bumblebee bees are so mellow.
But what I had done, what the neighbor came over and looked. What I had done is the nest area this bumblebee had made in a azalea bush near us.
Okay.
I was mowing, and I took
And
that
you kept
lawnmower,
bumping
kept
into
bumping,
it, and he said,
finally he was
"Would
like,
you
"Okay,
knock it off?"
And he hit me right on my waist.
Oh, right at the So you kind of pinched him probably
Oh, yeah.
in your shirt and your
Right.
shorts. Yep.
He come out to defend it, and he hit me right in the waist. But I must have hit that bush 6 or 7 times
Before you
because
aggravated
a
him,
big
yeah.
bumblebee doesn't. They're very docile. They
Right,
won't-
they are. Well, I mean, you look at the size of them, the size of their wings. Yeah,
Right.
it's like
they're like
nobody.
I shouldn't be intimidating just by the size of me.
Yeah.
And so I would, but that's the only time I've been stung. But I've had friends of mine
Oh, I've been stung a few times.
that
but
won't adhere. You see there's 4 or 5 bumblebees there. Let them get the nectar thereafter. Go work in another area.
Right.
Share the area.
Right.
And people don't do that.
Right.
But bumblebees, bees aren't the only thing you got to worry about.
No,
It is caterpillar season.
it is caterpillar season, and we've had the everybody. Where I was at work, everybody was freaked out. The tussock moth caterpillars were dropping out of the oak trees.
Right, of course they do.
And they're, it's just, okay, they're falling out. The tussock moth caterpillar and the oak tree have a symbiotic relationship.
They certainly do.
They can live off of that, but eventually they're going to drop down. they're going to crawl over to where they're going to make a cocoon and turn into a moth.
And if you grab one of these caterpillars, because they look strange.
They look weird. They've got the little fuzzies. They kind of look like something that could sting, because they do have the hairs on both the tail end and on the front, and the little tufts of hair along the ridge, along the back part. But those hairs can sting or be sensitive, especially if they get down like your shirt collar.
Oh, yeah.
Which they will drop down, and next thing you know, it's brushed against. It's been pinned between your clothing,
and it says, "Hey, I'm here,"
and you're sweaty. So your pores are open, making it much more susceptible. Or we pinch between our clothing, things like that. That's usually when we get stung. Or stung is because they don't bite. It's stinging.
Are caterpillars and bees right now the two main things you have to worry about if you're going to get stung in
besides mosquitoes or fire ants, but
fire
they're around
ants and
year
mosquitoes
round.
we deal with year round.
They're all the time. Pretty much. And there are a couple of caterpillars out there to keep an eye out for. One is the Io, which I'm going to get them mixed up. The Io is like the saddleback. Let me double check, make sure I get my proper descriptions going here. I didn't bring the laptop, so I have my phone's smarter than my laptop. Anyway, because that's a few years old. This is brand new. But
because there's a lot of different caterpillars going on right now.
Oh yeah, there is. Here we go.
You go around some pecan trees now that are starting to leaf out and everything, and those big brown moth canopies are canopies growing in those.
Right. You got the pecan trees, the cherry laurels, your cherry trees, a lot of your non-citrus fruit trees, pears, peaches.
We'll get those big brown nests.
You get the nest, and a lot of those are the eastern tent. And those are the ones we always played with.
Right.
Those little caterpillars. And they play with them. Yeah, little Caddy the caterpillar, the kids play with those. And that's why we have to watch out when we see some of these other caterpillars, is because you can be sensitive to them. Io caterpillar and the saddleback caterpillar. The saddleback looks exactly like its name. Let me see if I can let me get a better picture here for you. He looks like he's wearing a saddle.
He does look like he's wearing a saddle.
But it's green.
Right.
It says, and it has tufts of hair. It says, "Don't touch me."
Yeah, that looks like something that says,
"Don't touch me. Don't touch me. Don't touch him." There's another one out there called a Pus Caterpillar, Puss, and those just look like little, maybe like a pussy willow fuzzy, if anybody's familiar with pussy willow trees, because they don't really grow here. Or they also look like just some type of seed pod, maybe very hairy and that. But if you touch one of those may send you to the hospital.
Really?
To the emergency room. The sting has a way of elevating the blood pressure. Intense pain. I touched one accidentally on the back of my arm one year, and it was like, why am I on fire?
Yeah.
And I was sweaty. It was on the back of a chair. I didn't even recognize that it was a caterpillar.
And you sat on it.
And I leaned back against it.
And you said, "Hey, I'm here."
Yeah, I'm here. We did the tape thing, take the piece of duct tape, put it on there, rub that on there real good, pull it off, do it a few times, did some alcohol, this and that. I had not touched it very long. I did not end up at the emergency room, but I could tell that would have been something that, especially if a child or someone else maybe with some other health issues, you're going to probably end up.
And there's all kind of home remedies for these kind of stings.
Yeah.
Like I remember when I was a kid, not me because I was allergic, but kids that get stung by a bee, my mom would go and take a cigarette.
Take the tobacco out. Wet the tobacco out.
Draw the stinger out.
Yeah.
You know what else draws the stinger out really well? Chlorine bleach.
Okay, I didn't know.
You put a little chlorine bleach on a rag and put it right on the bite thing. It'll draw a stinger right out.
It draws the toxin out. I know we used to do mud.
Right.
Because I remember as a child, I got stung on a seesaw.
Oh.
How do you get it? What part of you is the seesaw? Actually, it was my elbow. But my brother and I were on, and not only did I get stung, but I fell off the seesaw.
That had to be a yellow jacket or something right there.
I don't know what it was, but yeah. And then my brother goes dragging me over to the mud, because it was right near a creek, and grabs a handful of mud and slaps it on there, and it's like,
You were good.
what are you doing? You're beating.
but you were good.
I survived, yes.
Yeah,
My brother took care of me.
Let's go to the phone lines. Hi, you're on with Carol Ann Baldwin.
Good morning, guys.
Morning, Hugh.
See, speaking of bugs and stuff, as long as I've lived in Florida, I've never seen this before, and I'll describe it to you. It's about the size of a fly, and it's all black, and it looks like a very tiny grasshopper, and it's got like a little orange stripe on its back.
They're bigger than a fly.
Hundreds of them. And I never seen it before, and I pointed it out to my neighbor, and he never seen it before. What do you think it was?
Oh, I can tell you exactly what it is. It is a juvenile lubber grasshopper. Kill them with a vengeance because they will eat your garden as they grow up to be those. Some people say beautiful only because the coloration's gold and orange and brown grasshoppers that you can shoot with a BB gun.
I know that grasshopper.
Yeah, you can shoot the big ones with a BB gun and it bounces off, kind of thing. So if you have anything with a strap leaf, amaryllis, daylilies, agapanthus, crinum lilies, anything like that, they're going to eat the heck out of them.
That's the black, red, and gold grasshoppers that as kids, we would catch them.
Put little saddles on them and let them pull the wagon?
We would catch them as kids.
Okay.
And then we would crush them because the sound they make when you crushed them was so great.
Yeah, and otherwise, if you just sort of think you're going to stomp on it once, it'll hop away. It'll crawl off. Yeah. But yeah, that's the lubber. That is the juvenile lubber grasshopper. And usually early morning while it's cool, you can get out there with a bucket of warm soapy water and just knock them off into that, and they will drown. Yeah.
Good looking bug.
They are. I mean, but they're kind of scary because they do get that big and they are crunchy. Yeah. When they, and I don't think anything eats them.
Hugh, you may be able to, as a survivalist, you may be able to collect a bunch of them and eat them as protein. You never know.
I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't know if those. But they are voracious
eaters. I've never seen
eaters.
it before, and like I say, they're real small.
Right.
And I think the lizards are feasting on them, and I've seen a big toad in that area too, and I think maybe that toad was eating them. But there were so many of them, but they're so small, they're real tiny, and
they won't take long.
I don't know. It's very unusual looking.
They're probably a just hatched out if they were that small, because usually we begin to see them when they maybe are about the size of the end of your little finger, the last joint of your little finger is when we start usually to see them. And
they can get up the size of bigger than your thumb.
They'll be 2.5, 3 inches long when they're an adult. Jump and eat.
Yeah.
They are eating machines.
Thanks for the call.
Can I use like an insect spray on them?
Yeah, while they're small, yes you can. When they're big, nothing will kill them but stomping them.
Yeah, that's it.
Or cutting them in half. Yeah, that's my issue.
Hey, thanks for the call, Hugh.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, the lubber grasshopper is one. Again, it's one of those ones we're seeing out there.
That destroy your foliage.
They're hatching out. They come up out of the ground. They will destroy foliage. It's not really a symbiotic relationship too much because they will actually eat the bulb of an amaryllis, especially when they get bigger. They will eat that bulb. And everybody thinks I'm joking, but I showed somebody one time. There was a large one. We were at an establishment, and there was one there, and I went, I'm gonna. He goes, just step on it. So he stepped on it, and I said, you didn't kill him. He said, oh yeah, I did. Yeah, I did. And I said, no, you didn't. About 20 minutes later, I says, come here. And I says, where'd he go?
Yeah.
He crawled off.
Because you didn't kill him.
Because it didn't kill him. It may have wounded him, but it didn't kill him. And he may have gotten, the revenge with ants or something like that. But that grasshopper was still alive and may have just been slightly wounded and crawled off somewhere to go recover and continue to eat. But because there's so many, you don't necessarily, with it nice and cool. Oh, this morning was a little bit chilly first thing this morning.
Degrees.
Yeah, but you get out there early in the morning before the leaves are warmed up. You get your bucket of soapy water or your coffee can full and knock them into there. You can throw a little bit of alcohol in there, like rubbing alcohol in there, and that'll help to kill them quick. Yep. And that'll help to knock down that population of them so that you're not overrun by the adults. And then when they're bigger, there's not much you're going to do except My strategy, because that's like one bug I'm afraid of, one insect I'm afraid of. I just don't want it to jump on me. Not a big grasshopper fan. But if I can get over there with a pair of pruners, snip them right in half.
Yeah, because the cicadas are coming. This is supposed to be the year of the cicada again.
Yeah, but I think that's up in more up in Virginia.
It is, but we've had cicadas here in Florida.
Yeah, we get some cicadas. Yeah, we get the cicadas, but not as.
You go up to North Carolina and Virginia,
and they're just crawling with them.
Oh, it's ridiculous. Yeah. I remember living in the mountains of North Carolina. The cicadas, and they're noisy.
Oh, they're loud. Yeah,
they're noisy.
Yeah,
and so but a lot of just as your plants are waking up. A lot of your insects
are waking up as well because the soil temperature is now coming up to what they are after, what they need in order for them to hatch. You're having a little issue there.
I'm having the ED issue.
Yeah,
with the microphone
it's a microphone dysfunction going on. But it happens at the same time that we're getting out in the garden. That the insects are also waking up, the caterpillars, the grasshoppers, and watch for ticks if you're clearing out overgrown areas. If maybe this is some time that you're going to take back some of that natural area. When you finish for the day, make sure you check yourself over, or be sure you wear long pants and socks that you can pull up over top of your pants so that you can check, and even then spray like your boots or your shoes with the DEET to help repel them off.
I had a tick get on the back of my leg when I was probably 14, 15 years old. Yeah. I was doing blackberries.
Okay.
I was in shorts like a moron.
Oh, yeah. And
I had a tick get on the back of my leg, and I didn't, I looked at ticks and everything, but I didn't notice it. About 3 days later, my sister goes, "What in the heck is that on the back of your leg?" And I looked in the mirror.
Oh, and it was...
Oh, it was probably a little smaller than a dime.
Yeah.
But
it was getting... I'm surprised.
I had to pull it off. It took a while, I had to pull it off. And then you had to light the match, and it went, pop and everything. But because I know there's other ways to kill ticks, but the best way to kill a tick is with an open flame. Yeah. You can kill a tick right away with an open flame.
Yeah.
But it had gotten, it was getting the whole Lyme protocol and everything to make sure I didn't get Lyme disease.
Right.
Because ticks
can be carriers of Lyme disease.
Right.
Yep. And
it has from the deer.
And it has happened here. It used to be, that used to be something that was up in Maine and Vermont and Michigan and things like that. But we do have that tick here.
Yeah, because the white-tailed deer are here, and they can,
Right.
Ticks you get some of them on dogs that are they end up being huge if you miss them. Like, I check my dogs once a week.
Right. Go and look at,
Because they run in the yard and everything. You never know with a retention pond and the pasture right there with us and everything. You don't know. When we come back from break, I want to talk to you about, we've talked about the garden's waking up. The ground soil is getting to where, so now bugs are showing up.
Right.
There are also other animals and live creatures that benefit from the waking up of the insects and everything, that a lot of people sometimes try to shoo out of their garden that they probably shouldn't.
They should let go. Yep.
We'll talk about that when we come back. This is Carol Ann Baldwin. Ask the Master Gardener, Carol Ann Baldwin, any questions you have by calling 622-9622. We'll be back after this short timeout. You're listening to In the Garden on 1370 AM, 96.3 FM. Let me get this up. WOCA, the source.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
USA Radio News with Lance Pry.
The FDA and the CDC will stop using the Johnson & Johnson vaccine at federal sites and urge states to do so as well as they investigate safety issues. 6 recipients, all women between the ages of 18 and 48, developed blood clots. 1 woman died and a second woman in Nebraska has been hospitalized in critical condition. In the United States alone, 300 to 600,000 people a year develop blood clots, and it's unclear if the vaccine caused the ailment. Japanese officials plan to release more than 264 million gallons of radioactive water into the Pacific Ocean over a period of decades as part of an effort to dispose of waste resulting from the 2011 Fukushima nuclear disaster. The release will begin in 2 years. An armed student has died in the shooting with police on Monday in Knoxville, Tennessee. The Knoxville Police Department said officers responded to reports of a possibly armed male suspect about 3:15 p.m. local time at the school. No other students were harmed. USA Radio News.
Rockstar Radio. Did you know this station, this network, is looking for their next rock star broadcaster? That's right, we are. And it could be you. It could be you interviewing the guests, talking to the newsmakers right in the middle of everything. Have you ever dreamed of being a rock star show host? Now could be your chance. Together with this station, we'll help you with everything you need. The studios, the equipment, your own producer, a co-host if you'd like, and so much more. Broadcasting is changing. There's never been a need for fresh voices and unique opinions like there is right now. You can do this. Our professional team will guide you every step of the way. Sound effects, show content, building your social network media, and everything you need to be the next rockstar broadcaster. Get all the details. Email bill@rockstar.today. That's bill@rockstar.today. To get started with your own show, email bill@rockstar.today. That's bill@rockstar.today. Don't wait. You could be the next voice for America. Email bill@rockstar.today.
Sun and Fun's Aerospace Expo is back and better than ever from April 13th through the 18th. It's not just an air show, it's everything aviation in 2021. And you don't want to miss it. Join fellow aviation enthusiasts as we watch mighty warbirds in flight, vintage bombers to modern fighter jets, and our headlining act, the Blue Angels, as they celebrate their 75th anniversary, where they'll unveil their newest Super Hornet. Watch the night sky gleam with our first ever amazing drone light show, aerobatic flyers, a fireworks display, and Wall of Fire. Our event takes place on 1,000 spacious outdoor acres at the Lakeland Linder International Airport, where you'll have a front row ticket to all the action at Sun and Fun's world-famous showcase of the past, present, and future of aviation. Children under 10 are free, so make plans to bring the whole family and experience 6 exciting days of the Sun and Fun Aerospace Expo. For ticket information and show schedules, visit us at flysnf.org.
Get it for less at the DIY Home Center outlet. Get top quality real wood cabinets the same or less than the big box stores are selling the cheap stuff. And that's not all. Drywall screws big box stores are $6.47 a pound. At DIY, only $4.99. Plus, DIY has the largest selection of mobile home parts and accessories anywhere. From carpet to doors, get the DIY supplies you need for less. The DIY Home Center outlet. We are your building material closeout store. 2191 Northwest 10th Street, just 2 miles east of I-75.
Do you have an awful-looking chip or crack in your car's windshield? Let K&K Glass fix it. K&K Glass is Florida's largest source for glass, and in our 27th year, we're serving more than 57 counties throughout the state of Florida. K&K Glass can repair or replace any windshield that falls victim to our busy roads and highways. K&K Glass always provides free estimates, free mobile service to you, and a nationwide warranty. With contact-free service options and a UV disinfection to sanitize your vehicle, when you think of glass, think K&K Glass. Visit us today at kkglass.com. That's kkglass.com.
It's tree planting time, and that means it's time to remind you of Bob Wine's great deal on trees. Take your pick from any tree in their huge stock, and then you get another tree just like it for half price. And that deal applies to all trees up to Bob Wine's famous jumbo trees. Simply said, you always buy one and get one at half price. Be sure to check the Super Doorbusters on great-looking Laura Pedalum. Not $8.99, but just $3.99. That truckload sale on roses continues. Knockouts just $24.99. Huge double red knockout roses only $69.99. And you'll find more azaleas than you've ever seen in one place, starting with the ever-blooming red ruffles, still just $3.99. Check all this week's deals at BobWinesCameliaGardens.net. That's Bob Wine's Camellia Gardens on Southeast 38th Street, daily till 4:30, Saturdays till 3:30, serving you in the same place for nearly 70 years.
That's right. It's In the Garden with Carol Ann Baldwin, Master Gardener Carol Ann Baldwin. She's in the studio with us. as always, on a Tuesday morning. We were talking during the break. You got the caterpillars out, and
right.
you got bees and everything out.
Right.
Now, other bugs are going to start waking up. You're going to have that grubs and everything.
There's all kinds of insects that are.
Also, I noticed underneath my shed the other day, it's under there for safety reasons because it comes out of the shed. The dogs will get it.
Okay.
There's a family of bunnies.
Oh, okay.
As soon as you start and I'm worried about the cucumbers that we got growing that are coming on the fence.
Right, because the bunnies like that stuff.
So I was talking to somebody about that the other day, and they go, "Yeah, what can you do about that?" And I go, "Well, any kind of gardening area, we live right near the woods and all. Any snake that's over here, I like a snake because it'll take care of the bunny and the rat." Right.
Yeah, it helps to control that.
He was like, no, I get rid of all the snakes and the frogs and everything out of my garden area.
Yeah, it's like, why? You need the lizards and the toads and the snakes. And I see the thing. What can I do to get the geckos out of my lanai? It's like, well, nothing. They're in there because there's a food source.
Right.
It has chased something in, and maybe it is trapped. Guess what? If it gets trapped long enough, you will sweep up a stiff, dried out carcass, and you'll move on. Don't worry about them. They're not going to hurt you.
They're all part of the system.
They're all part of the system. It's the whole. You think of Lion King. It's all that web of life.
Circle of life.
Circle of life. That's how it goes. I mean, the toads usually are burrowed up underground, and they eat insects. They eat wasps.
Yeah.
They eat some of the ones that'll sting us. But then again, the wasp will parasitize the caterpillar that's feeding on your tomato plant. You're growing all kinds of milkweed and things like that for the butterflies. Guess what? You're going to have spiders. You're going to have toads. You're going to have lizards. When you are putting out a huge meal, a buffet out there, smorgasbord, come up with your, because you're putting out way more food in a very small area, and you are encouraging a population of something in a great quantity that would have only been there in small quantities. Somebody's getting eaten.
And it's amazing how well the ecosystem recognizes where the snakes
that there's an overpopulation.
They know where those kind of things are.
Yeah.
I'll give you a prime example. The house I live in, the house that my fiance and I live in, when I first moved in, there were no motion sensor lights on the garage area.
Okay.
So we went and got a motion sensor light.
Sure.
And so it lights up now anytime there's motion right around the garage.
Right.
And so after that,
it's like a strobe light because it keeps coming on.
After that, one of the problems that my fiance said we have, she goes, there's a spider right there, that light, all the time now. When you walk out of the garage, if you're not careful.
Oh, because the light is attracting.
And I go, well, yeah, because the spider knows that light attracts bugs, and the spider eats bugs, so he goes around that light. Because the light attracts him, they get in his web, he's eating good.
Right. He's well fed.
It's amazing to me how well the ecosystem can figure out where those places are to be.
Right. And that's it. I mean, I hear people go, "Oh, I have so many, capital S, capital O, exclamation point, so many caterpillars. They've eaten all my milkweed down. I need to buy more." Actually, nature would take care of that. I mean, it's not everybody survives.
Not everybody.
And I hate to say that to people. People look at me like I'm being this horrible, awful person.
Not everybody lives.
And it's not everything survives. It's not meant to.
It's supposed to be there as a dead carcass to feed other things.
To feed other things. Yeah. Right.
Good morning, Yoma, Carol Ann Baldwin.
Morning.
Good morning.
Well, good morning.
I'm calling because... good morning, Carolyn.
Yeah.
This is Kara.
Yes.
And I have a jacaranda tree. It has gotten so big so fast. And it's in the shape of a Y. It's not the way I wanted it to grow.
Oh, okay.
But it has developed a hole right at the center of where the Y is.
Oh.
At the bifurcation.
Right.
And I don't know if that's dangerous or not, and is there a product that we can put in there to keep it from rotting more?
From splitting more. That's tough. Yeah, if it's where it's going to split, it's almost like you feel like it may lose one side or the other of the tree. Is it clear enough?
Well, I would imagine it's right in the center, and it looks like it's going to go down the trunk.
Oh, yeah. You know what? I would probably I think where wasn't it you and I, Tom? We were talking about the concrete.
Yeah.
Down in there, you might just get some grout and mix some grout up, or not grout, but like mortar mix. And mix that into a slurry, and just get a funnel or make a funnel and fill it up, just to stop the rot, because every time it rains, water's probably getting into that, insects are getting in there, other things are getting in there and causing further erosion. Exactly. So in order to plug that up.
It's like an open wound.
Right.
An open wound won't ever very seldom
if
repair.
you keep picking that scab off, and that's what insects and other things are basically like, picking the scab off. So I'd probably get a bag of mortar mix.
More than just a little sore. It's like more than an inch. It's probably an inch and a half deep.
Okay.
And I did see some ants coming out of it. So
right. Yeah, you might if it's that small, because I was thinking it was something a little bit deeper than that. Gently with like a can of the expansion foam, and just a couple little squirts in there. Of course, then you end up throwing away the rest of the can, because I don't know any way to keep that can for any other further purpose. But that may be just enough to spurt in there to fill that void, to keep anything from getting back down in there.
All right. Well, I'll get busy then.
Sure.
Okay. Thank you very much.
You're welcome, Gary.
Thanks for the call.
Bye.
Yep, bye-bye.
Yeah, people think that, what are you saying, putting concrete in a tree, into a tree?
Yeah.
But it'll just close off that infected area.
Right.
So
It
the bugs can't
stops
get to
moisture.
Right.
It stops the moisture
and
from coming in.
The tree 90% of the time survives.
Right. There was one on one of the cut-throughs between 27th Avenue here and back towards 200 that had a great big, I swear it was at least 4 feet high, 2.5 feet wide, where they had concreted it on there. And I mean, after a while, it actually looked like some of the concrete was pushing off, but that's because the bark was healing up underneath that wound and pushing some of that back off. But something like that, even some roofing tar would probably, if you can find.
What are you saying? I should go get a thing of Flex Seal? That'll work.
Flex Seal might work, especially as a caulking variety. Just squeeze in there, and that way, it just is blocking off the access for moisture and other insects. She said she saw some ants in there. I might spray carpenter spray down up in there. Let that sit for a few hours or so, and then cover it up.
It's one of those things where it doesn't sound like it makes sense,
right?
Because you don't want to put concrete in a tree,
right?
But it actually is very effective.
It does work. I mean, it works on that same principle of the wound seal or pruning seal. Right. You cut off a large limb, even though the university says, it's not really needed. White latex paint works just as well. You don't have to go out. The black was just because it kind of blended in, I think, a little more.
Right.
And it may have had a tar base to it. So that kind of thing of to me, larger limbs, something bigger than 2 inches across, then you'd be using something like that. The smaller ones are just going to heal usually without an issue.
Let's talk about something we've talked about before on this show.
Yeah.
And with my back injury down, I couldn't do it, but I told Susan how you said to do it. And Susan went and bought the weed killer.
Right.
And she put on the hose.
Right.
And she fanned it back and forth in the
got
backyard.
right, because you guys, you were getting ready to do that.
She fanned it back and forth in the front yard. This was probably 10 days ago.
Okay.
The lawn guys, it was the day after the lawn guys had cut the grass.
Okay.
So, the weeds were right there.
Right.
They don't cut it so low that they cut the weeds too.
Right.
They're just taking the top off the grass.
That's all
Because right now during the spring, you don't want to really cut it deep.
We've only had one rain.
Right. You don't want to cut it deep. You just want to
just
chop the little top off.
Just clean it up a little bit, kind of like getting a trim at the hair at the.
So the lawn guy showed up on yesterday.
Okay.
Cuts it for the first time since we put the weed killer on. I noticed yesterday as I'm coming home, I go, man, my yard looks yellow. And I got out there, and it's because
all the weeds are dying.
All the weeds are starting to they're yellow and dying.
Yellow
and you can see them. But some people get discouraged by that.
Oh,
That's actually a good color. It's because it's doing its job.
You know that it is working, right? You know that those weeds are now dying, and so you can begin to
now the time to start. Now that you see they're dying. Is it the time to hit it with fertilizer or give it another 5-6 days?
I would probably. It's been 10 days. I would go ahead. You could either do it, but you figure we're already into April. I'd be looking at something really minor on fertilization, only because that should have been done back in March.
Right.
So something like the, I always say it's like, everybody knows the name Milorganite.
Right.
But there's a Florida Natural. I'm sure there's probably another manufacturer where it's actually, that's a Florida product. Same exact thing as the other one. It's a little less expensive, but because it comes from Florida, not from
I just
Milwaukee.
got yesterday. I was looking. I was like, man, why's my grass so
I'd
yellow?
Probably even because you
and then I got
yours
looking
is,
and the dollar weeds going.
Yeah.
It's yellow.
Now you have St. Augustine.
Yeah.
You could come through with plugs if you wanted, or even just top dressing it with something like a black velvet or the lawn soil or something like that, because that St. Augustine will creep back across.
Right, I know, exactly.
And so it will heal itself. I would go easy, like I said, on any kind of fertilization, only because it's now April. I would probably be looking at waiting till that 1st of June to put down a turf or lawn fertilizer, 1608.
We'll wait till that, and then the weeds will be dead and gone.
Right. And again, you could top dress it. Stay away from. Everybody says what? Topsoil you put on top. Topsoil can contain weed seed, so why would you bring weeds back in? Right. Topsoil is great for filling holes. But compost has normally come to a temperature that kills off most bad bacteriums and weed seed. Things like the mushroom compost is a product of the mushroom industry, which is really pretty cool. If you look into that, it's really it is weed free. It says so on the back. It's not as easy to spread out as, say, compost is, but it will, if you get out there with the rake, try to shake it out evenly across the yard, that will help to feed the yard as well. It'll help to feed the soil. So feeding the soil will feed the roots and feed the lawn. You might not get real fast growth, but you're not that far away from putting down a regular fertilization.
It's one of those things. It's a finite window of when you can do these things,
or when it's better to do them. I mean, you could get away with putting down a 1608 kind of thing, just a basic turf fertilizer, and going easy on it, probably cutting that down just so that you could use the proper amount come, say, the first part of June, shortly before that rainy season starts.
I'm very interested, though, in the next couple of days, because it's going to be warm days, but cool nights.
Yeah.
And that's when the dew is on the ground. That's when the St. Augustine will really start to jump.
It should start to grow. We had a good rain.
Right.
Maybe a little heavy. We've got rain in the forecast. Coming up, I think, for the end of the week, because actually it's like, okay, it's going to rain the weekend. I go, gee, thanks, I'm off. It's going to rain.
Well, that's
so
how you know it's going to be. Carol Ann Baldwin's off for the weekend. Rain in the forecast.
It's going to rain. It didn't do it today and yesterday, so that was good. But got some stuff done in the yard.
We got the cucumbers going now.
Yes.
And they're just, as long as you keep them watered and keep the dogs out of them.
Yeah. They're happy. Yeah, they're happy. Yeah.
You know what I'm amazed at is she potted into a big, probably, I don't know, pot like this. What's
right, okay. Whiskey barrel thing? Yeah.
It's short, though.
Right. Little yeah.
Plastic, probably 3 foot across.
Okay, yeah.
A rather big plant.
Yeah.
But she put a bell pepper plant, one bell pepper plant in the center of that thing.
Yeah. That should get nice and big.
Oh, this bell pepper plant already, when she put it in there, it was about a 4-inch bell pepper plant.
Right.
It's a good 10, 12 inches now.
Nice.
It's been in the dirt 2 weeks.
Right. Growing good.
I'm amazed at how that bell pepper plant is just.
Yeah, I've been munching some of the lunchbox peppers, the little snacking peppers. It's like, ooh, you're big enough, and there's some little ones. So let me take that big one off to let those little ones get some size to them. And getting squash is just about it. I keep going. Do I want to pick you? You'd be just perfect whole, right in the skillet with onion, salt and pepper, a little garlic, and so it's like, do I want? Got a few there.
I
And,
took off a lemon blossom.
oh,
Smelled great, but I had to go.
yeah.
Had to go.
Just had one.
Just had one. No, I took 4 or 5 blossoms off of each tree.
Oh, okay.
A couple, 3 weeks ago.
Right.
Before they even bloomed into flowers.
Sure.
And then you were like, why would you do that? Let them bloom into flowers.
Let them bloom. Let
them
them right. At least enjoy the fragrance, and you are feeding some bees and wasps in that as well while they're doing it. It's just if it set the fruit, if it held the fruit, just go through and snipping.
You know, I've smelled orange blooms.
Oh, but no.
But that lemon bloom was amazing.
They're just the favorite fragrance.
You wouldn't think it's not the bitter smell. You would think that lemon's great.
It's not. That's a whole thing, and it's funny because I found. I was a few years ago up in Gainesville during the medieval fair, an essential oil that smells like citrus blossom.
Right.
It doesn't smell like citrus where you might as well buy
blossom.
orange cleaner,
Right.
and spray yourself with orange. No, this smells like orange blossom, citrus blossom, which is like my favorite scent out there. I'll walk at work if they're in bloom, and I'm in a hurry down. I got to go unlock a gate, or I got to go and I'm in a hurry, and all of a sudden, oh wait, just one moment, and I'll
Your
go
nose
hug.
is like-
I got to go hug this tree, and people look at me just. One, just 2 or 3 breaths here. I'll be back with you in just
your
a
brain's
second.
going. Your brain's going. I got to unlock the gate. I got to unlock the gate. I got to unlock the gate.
I got it.
And your nose goes squirrel.
Yeah, that's it. Nope, citrus blossom.
Exactly.
Let me go. Let me just decompress here, and then and it is one of those great things you can do.
Because it's such a sweet smell.
It's such a wonderful fragrance. I mean, I love the gardenias. I love the jasmine too, and they're all very.
I wish
very,
you're right that Yankee Candle or somebody like that would make a citrus blossom
It's
smell
not- it's-
instead of an orange blossom smell. Or something.
it's because that just smells like crushed up. It
Or
smells like orange cleaning.
Like somebody
stuff.
goes ruby red grapefruit candle. They're horrible.
It smells like the fruit.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's like,
But
do I
not
want
like
to eat
the
this?
blossom.
Right.
And the blossom smells completely different.
The blossom is what is so spectacular. And
You know what my favorite blossom is, though, smell-wise?
What's that?
And I know people, and roses are good enough.
Yeah.
I love a good magnolia.
Oh yes,
You
and
get that
they
big
don't
white-
they don't
that
smell
white
until
bell.
they start to fall apart.
Once they start to brown, the first leaves, the first petals are starting to brown.
Then
and it's about to
you
fall
can-
off.
yep.
That magnolia blossom smells as good as it gets.
Yep. And if you get them when they're small, cut it off, cut the
float it in-
stem,
you
and
float
float
it
it
in
in a
water.
saucer of water on the
whole house
counter.
will smell like
yeah.
magnolia.
Mm-hmm. I'm with you.
Amazing
I'm
smell.
with you.
And but you gotta wait until the first petals are
starts to-
starting
yeah,
to brown.
when it starts
and then
to-
you snip it, but leave enough.
Leave an inch and a half or so,
and you
so
can
it
put
gets
it
in the water.
You can put it in a bowl.
Yeah, right. In
regular
a
bowl,
saucer. Yeah, saucer. Yep, of water and
and it'll last 6, 7, 8 days,
Yep.
just like a regular blossom will, and you will thank us.
Oh yeah, and I have a beautiful magnolia tree in the yard, and it only blooms on the top. And even though I have a second floor window, I have yet to see a bloom. I've been in that house for 3 years. I've yet to see the bloom.
we have a
But I
25
know it. I know it does because I find the pods on the floor, on the ground all the time.
We have a 25-foot magnolia in the
Okay,
backyard
yeah.
that blooms all the way to the bottom.
I'm jealous.
I mean, the bottom, it starts at 7 feet.
Okay, right.
You know, it's not a magnolia that goes all the way to the ground.
No.
7 feet before you get to the first branches, but it blooms all the way down. And it's just an amazing fragrance that the magnolia tree puts off. And that's the thing. Right now, if you're a fragrance person,
oh, get your sniffer. Oh,
Right
I
now's
have
the time to go.
Get your sniffer. Make sure you're not having an allergy week when that. Oh, I have a gardenia that is just, and it's a scraggly looking gardenia, and I'm really afraid to do much to it because I don't want to harm it.
Right.
But every tip has got bud, at least one on it, and I'm just like waiting.
Gardenia
I keep
smells
going
so
out
good.
there and looking. Go, yes, you look so. I'm just waiting for you to
You know
bloom.
what I miss, though? And I miss it here in Florida. And we had it in Georgia so much. And I think it gets confused. People confuse lavender and stuff with it. Is we have honeysuckle in Georgia that just goes everywhere.
Right,
And
yeah.
you talk about a fragrance. You get a big honeysuckle vine.
Yeah.
Now, you talk about a bee attractor.
Oh yeah. Well, we all know the nectar's in there. If you grew up
If you've
with
ever taken
honeysuckle, that
you know it's in there.
Yeah, eat that. Have that little droplet of sweetness.
You know it's in there.
Oh yeah.
But I miss the smell of honeysuckle. And I know that jasmine's out there and
the
lavender.
honeysuckle.
And
It's a different
Guy
scent.
told me I got honeysuckle all over my house, and I went and looked. He's got jasmine all over his house.
Yeah,
He doesn't
that's
have
not honeysuckle. That's not honeysuckle.
But
yeah.
he thought I was like, no, that's jasmine.
Usually the honeysuckle you find out and around is actually like a wild Japanese honeysuckle that'll take over. But that was what grew through the woods when I was a kid up north.
Right.
Yeah,
Florida doesn't have a whole lot of honeysuckle. Up around Jacksonville and up around...
they have, where it's a little more temperate versus...
Nassau County, Duval County, up there around the state line.
Right.
They get a little more honeysuckle than...
Yeah.
But you go to North Georgia mountains...
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's all over the place in the North Georgia Mountains.
It's almost like a kudzu. It takes over.
And you can just leave, during this time of year, in
leave the
late
windows
March,
open,
early April, you just riding down the road.
And just sniff, just breathe.
It'll fill your whole car up.
Yeah.
See, I'm talking about honeysuckle, and my friend Christine's calling from Atlanta right there. Chris, we're all planning a trip to the Redneck Riviera.
So there you go.
You know where the Redneck Riviera is.
I've heard of it. I forget the
Panama City
there
Beach.
You go. Oh yeah, that's right. I've been there.
The Redneck Riviera.
And I've been there. I love the only thing bad about there is trying to figure out your direction. Because the water's on the south.
Right. The water's south.
The water's not supposed to be south. It's east or west.
So the water's south. So if the water's south, Thomas Drive is to the east.
Yeah.
And Fort Walton and Destin are to the west.
Yeah. Because we camped up there a couple times during Thunder Beach.
Yeah.
And at the campground, you walked through the campground and there you were.
Yeah, because it's usually it's very not very often the beach is south of you.
No, and so it really throws you off when you wake up and you go which or that you're trying to get your bearings.
And it's
especially when you're in the middle when you live normally in the middle of the state and you're.
If you've never been to Panama City, which I can't understand anybody in Florida not being to Panama City, but if you've never been to Panama City Beach, it's like Clearwater Beach. But in the Panhandle, because it's white sands, it's crystal
beautiful.
Blue water.
Oh, it's gorgeous. Another fantastic place is St. Joseph Peninsula.
Don't even get started on St. Joe, St. George, all that area.
We camped at the campground there, State Park, and had 7 miles of white sand. And because we went in early September during the week, because that's the best time to go anywhere, because it's less crowded.
Nobody's there.
We had 7 miles of beach to ourselves.
Well, that's why I love St. George, which is the best kept secret in Florida.
Right.
I love St. George Island because it's got the white beaches and everything, and half the island's like rich private land, with gated community. Other half of the island's the Buccaneer and the restaurants and everything. And we go to St. George, and what I love about St. George is you can still do it at St. George, which you can't do on a lot of beaches anymore. St. George at night, you can go get all the driftwood you want.
Oh.
Dig you a hole in the sand.
And do you a beach fire. Wonderful.
Get your beach bonfire.
Going on. Yeah, nice.
You can do that at Hanna Park in Jacksonville as well. You can do that at Hanna State Park.
Yes.
Hanna State Park in Jacksonville. But I grew up on the East Coast. People go, why do you love the West Coast and the Gulf so well? I go, because I grew up on the East Coast. The East Coast is
so
dirty. It's people say, oh, it's lovely. I love the Atlantic Ocean. Don't get me wrong. I surfed the Atlantic Ocean.
Love the Atlantic. Yeah.
I love the Atlantic. But there's just something about
the Gulf is calming.
Yeah.
I think is what it is. It's so calming. The surf isn't as loud, but it has that nice gentle. So.
And it has grouper.
And it has grouper.
And conchs.
And a lot of fun to catch. What were we catching? Ladyfish.
Yeah. So
Yeah. Can't eat them, but fun to catch.
Thanks for coming in.
Oh, my pleasure. Had a great time. Glad to see you're back and up on 2 feet.
Well, I'm trying.
Yeah.
See you next week.
Yep.
I was Carol Ann Baldwin, Master Gardener Carol Ann Baldwin. You're listening to 1370 AM, 96.3 FM. Matt Gibbs, Sunrise Auto in the building. He's up next right here on WOCA, The Source.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
USA Radio News with Lance Pry.
The FDA and the CDC will stop using the Johnson & Johnson vaccine at federal sites and urge states to do so as well as they investigate safety issues Wednesday. 6 recipients, all women between the ages of 18 and 48, developed blood clots. 1 woman died and a second woman in Nebraska has been hospitalized in critical condition. Authorities in Washington, D.C. are searching for a person who shot 3 women, 2 of them fatally, before lighting an apartment on fire with a newborn inside Monday night. 2 victims were pronounced dead at the scene. Authorities believe the fire was set by the attacker who was leaving the apartment. No other details were given by authorities. In keeping up with his long-standing environmentalism, Prince Philip will reportedly receive an eco-friendly send-off, lying in a $1,200 wood coffin carried by an electric Land Rover. Philip's funeral is Saturday for the Duke of Edinburgh. He died in his sleep Friday at the age of 99. This is USA Radio News.
This is sponsored by Chase. 3 in 4 people have concerns about creating a budget that's flexible and realistic, according to a study conducted by Chase. And 89% of respondents expressed concerns about preparing for unexpected costs. It's Financial Literacy Month, an opportunity for people to take a closer look at their money and make the necessary adjustments to improve their financial health, like budgeting, saving, and tracking credit scores. To get started, Chase has launched a new website with information and tools designed to help. Melissa Hotziglu, a leader for financial health at Chase.
Financial health is a journey, and we are dedicated to helping our customers think and plan for their financial future. This new website features tips and tools for how to budget, grow savings, build credit, or connect with bankers who can offer guidance for whatever stage they are in.
For resources, tools, and information, visit chase.com/personal/financial-goals.
President Biden continues to sell his very expensive infrastructure bill. Tim Berg from the Phoenix USA Radio News Bureau has more.
President Biden meeting with Republicans at the White House on Monday to discuss his $2.25 trillion infrastructure plan. Louisiana Republican Senator John Kennedy on why the meeting is taking place.
I mean, the whole point of this meeting is to try to get Republicans to vote for the bill. Yep. But we got a lot of questions. The door's open. It's heavy, but the door's open.
Over 100 executives.
Tips and tricks for the tastiest tomatoes. That's coming up on This Land of Ours.
Are you looking for something that's unusual or hard to find? You might just find it at HiBid.com. It's the online auction site for, well, just about anything. HiBid.com has estate sales, closeouts, liquidations, and even government-seized vehicle auctions. It's easy to bid on office furniture, antiques, sports memorabilia, restaurant equipment, motorboats, and even arcade games. You can search for items by name or simply see where the next page takes you. Visit HiBid.com, that's HIBID.com, and find what you're looking for today.
Here's farmer and businessman James Wood.
We farm about 3,500 acres. There's pipelines everywhere. The contractor working on my property did not have the lines located before he began work, and it resulted on a strike on a natural gas pipeline. Fortunately, no one was hurt, but it could have been much worse.
Never assume the location or depth of underground lines. Always call 811 or visit clickbeforeyoudig.com before you start work. A message from the Pipeline Operators for Ag Safety campaign.
The extra attention you give your tomato plants right now could pay off with some of the tastiest tomatoes when it's harvest time. For healthy plants and soil, use organic fertilizer and compost every week to keep plants supplied with nutrients. Remove damaged plants and any fruit that shows dark patches on their bottom. When it's really hot, deep waterings are needed. Tomatoes are less likely to crack when the soil is moist. Also, be sure to cover soil. Mulch blocks weeds, saves water, and protects fruit. Protect plants from heat and sun scald by covering plants with lightweight cloth covers through the first few heat waves. Pick tomatoes when you're ready for them. Avoid letting them get soft and mushy. Tomatoes picked at the breaker stage when they first show signs of changing color are considered vine ripened. These tomatoes will continue to ripen off the vine and on your kitchen counter. Plus, tomatoes picked at the breaking stage can still have the same flavor as the one that has fully ripened on the vine. Whatever you do, just don't put tomatoes in the fridge to ripen. I'm Kathy Isom, Southeast AgNet.
When it really counts, depend on the source for the latest weather updates, keeping you ahead of the storm. 96.3 FM, 1370 AM, The Source.
We'll have plenty of sunshine today. Should be a nice day with a high of 86 to 89. Then patchy clouds this evening, low tonight 61 to 65. Wednesday will be sunny to partly cloudy, high tomorrow 86 to 88. Then look for a mix of clouds and sunshine on Thursday, high on Thursday 79 to 90. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm Holly Holdren.
The Ocala Golf Club, one of Ocala's premier golf courses, from its pristine 18-hole course layout to its amazing pro shop. Jason Linhart and the staff at Ocala Golf offer everything that you need for your golf outing. That's the Ocala Golf Club. Experience country club style golf at municipal prices. You won't go wrong with the Ocala Golf Club. Call them for a tee time today, 352-401-6917.
Hey, Matt, I know Sunrise Automotive does auto stuff, but I need some tires for my truck. Can you recommend someone?
Yes, I can. We do that.
No, I mean, I need them installed and balanced and all that.
Yep, we do that.
Well, my son needed his windows tinted.
Yep, we do that.
I need my seat replaced.
Yep, we do that too.
I need a new roof line.